Mr. Brown, how you doing, sir?
I'm great, and so are you, Trey. Record show.
Thank you, sir, for your time. Thank you for your time.
Yeah,
It's quite an honor to have you, brother.
thank you. I need to put this up, John Wesley. It is a pleasure to be here, sir, because a lot, as you say, a lot going on.
Yes. And you know, I got a chance, I will tell you, man, I read your book. Gotta be hungry.
Yes,
You got at this time, you really gotta be hungry. And you talked about that.
yes. Now, is that book different?
It is. I mean, you know what? Timing is everything. Because
Yes.
I would like you to talk a little bit about this. This is a journey with your book from the last time. It's been years, almost 17 years. What's the journey here with this?
21 years, man.
21 years.
21 years. Yes. 21 years coming. 7 is my lucky number. So today is July the 7th.
Oh,
And it's been 21 years. 3 times 7 is 21.
yes. Hey, man.
Look here. You saw the movie House Party, right?
Absolutely.
Kid and Play.
Yes.
Hello.
Hello. Hey, you back in the game right there, man. You got your flavor.
Yes, yes. So yes, I'm back here. See if that little water fan's working. Yes. So what time we on?
Yes.
We're live?
We're live, man.
Oh my goodness.
Hey.
Let my son put the fan, John Wesley. Put the fan on low so they won't pick up and position it. Yes, sir. Well, let me share this with you.
Yes.
During this time, it's a character building experience. Keep it over there, please. Name it this way. And we're going to grow mentally and emotionally and spiritually through this period where we are. And it's historic. It's disruptive. One of my mentees, she wrote a book called Action, Despite the Distractions. That there are going to always be distractions. This is unlike anything we have ever seen. So we literally have to harness our will and do the things that we know that we need to do, that when we emerge from this place, it will be stronger and better mentally, emotionally, spiritually than when we came into this place. I see it as a cocoon.
Yes, yes, yes. And you there's some interesting things that I find that are parallel to your book and some experiences right now about the hunger. Because some of the things that motivated you are a lot of things that people are dealing with today that they have never dealt with before. But
Right.
you have.
Yes.
I would like to talk a little bit, share where a part of the hunger came from, because I think this is perfect timing. You could probably just penetrate some souls, how to take the hate and make it work for you. You know?
Yeah, it was Eldridge Cleaver said one of the things we should never do is to become like our oppressor. We should never do that, but what this is a reckoning right now, and things that have been going on. I mean, just imagine. I graduated in 1963. I am 75. And when I graduated from high school, the statistics indicated that a white high school dropout had more of a chance of getting a job than a black college graduate. Here we are today, and according to the Federal Reserve out of St. Louis, that has not changed.
Wow.
A white high school dropout will earn 3 times more than a black college graduate. That is not, that's because of systemic racism. And so in order for us to overcome those odds, you gotta be hungry. You gotta be relentless and unstoppable. You gotta find a way to win. And in this particular case, we not only we got to find a way, find a way not to die.
Right. Both ways. You got to win and you got to stay alive.
Yes. I mean, look here. I'm going to tell you how bad it is. I'm on the 3rd floor of my house, all right? I sneezed. There's nobody up here but me. I sneezed, and I took off and started running down the steps. And I said, wait a minute, that's my sneeze. So I came back and started spraying.
Hey, man, it's real out here, man. Oh.
Yes, yes. When my hunger was birthed, when I went to work with my mother, she worked for a lady named Miss Harris. And I was told to scrub spots off the kitchen floor. And my mother, she adopted 7 children. I was among the 7. We were foster kids, then she adopted us. And she said, Mamie, I want you to go in the other room and find a hat that I'm looking for. And she described the hat, and Mama went in there to find the hat. And then I heard clapping. My mother was clapping her hands. And I said, Mama. And she said, what is it, Leslie? I said, why are you clapping your hands? She said, don't you worry. You just do what you're supposed to do. And then she came out the room. She said, Miss Harris, I don't see it. She said, well, check the room over there to the left. And Mama went over there. And once again, my mother started clapping her hands. And I said, Mama. She said, what is it, Leslie? She was irritated. I said, why are you clapping your hands? And she said, I told you to do what you're supposed to do. And at that moment, Miss Harris came over to me. And she said, I can tell you why she's clapping her hands. And I dropped the washcloth. I stood up and I looked her in the eyes. And she said, because when I can't see colored people that are looking for something from me, I make them clap their hands to make sure that they're not stealing. And I looked her in the eyes. This time, you were not allowed to look white people in the eyes. They can call the police and you go to jail, all right? I said, Ms. Harris, I was very defiant. I said, my mother is not a thief. She loves you, she loves your children. She wouldn't steal from you or anybody. And she was shocked, taken aback. And she walked away. And I started mopping that floor again, removing those spots, tears falling in the pail. And I was angry. And I was saying to myself, this will never happen to my mother again. Nobody will ever humiliate her by making her clap her hands because they think that she's stealing. And that was the beginning. That was the birth of hunger in me to provide for my mother and protect her from any type of situation that would be demeaning and dismissive of who she was as a human being. There's a program called how you can create a culture that don't recognize the humanity of the people. Our issue is not systemic racism. The issue that we're facing, and that's been passed down generation after generation after generation, the dehumanizing of people of color. That's what the real issue is. The humanization. Because when you don't recognize someone's humanity, you can do anything to them.
Yeah.
So that's why they had in the Constitution that Black people were 3/4 human. So now you got permission. They're only 3/4 human. They're not completely human. So you can torture them, you can enslave them, you can beat them within the inch of their lives. Anything goes.
Yeah.
And that kind of mindset has been passed on down through the years, and the police departments have been infiltrated with white supremacists and Klan members, and the FBI have been looking at this for several years. They know that this is true. They just released a report on that, acknowledging that they have been looking at the tremendous infusion of white supremacists and Klan members into police departments all across the country. It is a white supremacist dream job to have a badge, have a gun, and get a paycheck to brutalize, beat, and kill Black people with no consequences. Absolute power gives you corrupts you, absolutely.
Yes, yes, yes. And you found a way, man, over the years, and your journey is a way of it's a testimony of, like you said, you got to be hungry. You have to have something that pushes you through this, takes you through this journey, and not allowing it to put, you talk about the fear that it puts into people. And a lot of people are, fearful. They don't know what to do. Some people don't want to step outside their house because of certain things now, or they don't even want. I mean, there's on all different levels, not even just with the pandemic, but then on top of it, what's going on in the other side. Are we safe? Are we not safe? So you found, talk about, you were born in Miami, Liberty City, an abandoned building. You talk about this. You talk about overcoming adversity, setback, losses, things that most people find it really hard to when you have adverse situations. What did you do? What is some of the things that you've done that you put in your mindset to keep you past this and push you through?
What I did, my mother has always been my hero. And I'll never forget when we were leaving Miami Beach and I saw white people having a lot of fun and recreation on the beach. And I said, Mama, why can't we live like that? She said, we just can't, Leslie, we just can't. And I said, why? She said, we just can't. And so I said, then why do they hate us so badly? And she said, I don't know, but don't you ever be like them. Don't you ever be like them. Don't you hate anybody. And what I admired about her, Mama never complained about the things that she experienced being in the South, the segregated South. She never complained. And she always treated everybody with respect. And she never taught us to hate anybody. I saw this white lady on television the other day, and she said, I hate you, and I'm going to teach my children to hate you. And so that level of hatred, it's taught, it's passed on generation after generation. But I learned from my mother mental resolve. Elsie Robinson said, things may happen around you and things may happen to you, but the only things that really count are the things that happen in you. And we can control that. And so I just resolved, regardless of what I was going through, I have an affirmation that I say to myself, no matter how bad it is or how bad it gets, I'm going to make it.
There it is. I'm going to make it. And you talk about that consistency of these words, these positive words, because like you said, one negative word, you need almost how many words to block that out?
You need 18 to overcome the negative words. If somebody say, you can't do that, somebody else has to come along and say, you can do it, you can do it, you can do it, you can do it. 18 times to neutralize that one time.
And that's why you have to have consistent people. You have to have positive people around you all the time. You talk about that in your book. And, guys, if you're coming on, we have obviously the amazing Les Brown, and this is a book, it obviously is flipped around. Can't read it particularly, but it says you've got to be hungry. We're talking about his new book. A lot of these things are in his book. You've got to read it. He breaks down so many things, and it's so relevant to today with his life and how it parallels today. There's nuggets in there that you cannot miss. This is a must-have book. You speak on team. You said there's about where you're going in life and who's going with me. Where you're going, and you've got to make sure you got it the right way.
Yeah. Dr. Howard Thurman, who was a mentor of Dr. Martin Luther King Jr. and Albert Schweitzer and Mahatma Gandhi, he said the two primary questions that one must ask oneself in life, number one, where am I going? And number two, who's going with me? And he said, if you ever answer those questions in the wrong order, you'll be in serious trouble. And I think about John H. Johnson, who, with a $500 loan from his mother, he built a $400 million empire. And his best friend was working for him. And John H. Johnson fired him. And people asked him, why did you fire your best friend? And he said, he told me that I couldn't do what I'm doing and what I'm involved in creating, Jet Magazine and Ebony. He said, I don't believe that I can do it. I truly don't need someone on my payroll that I'm paying to tell me that I can't do it. I'm willing to go for it anyhow. And so part of what I talk about, the value of creating OQP, only quality people, that you have to look in your life and look at the people around you and ask the question, what is this relationship doing to me? You earn within $2,000 to $3,000 of your closest friends. And so this is a time during this period where we are, that you look at your relationships and ask the question, am I growing mentally and emotionally and spiritually and intellectually, financially? Is this relationship an asset to me, or is it a liability? Because when you set your mind on going after a goal, you have to ask the question, who should I count on and who should I count out? And there's some people that they're always there when they need you, but when you need them, you can't find them.
Wow. Wow. Yeah. Yeah. That's, you know, that's a big thing among us as our company, the team, our production company, the team people that we work with. It's definitely about a vibe and an energy that we always want when we're shooting our productions, when we bring our actors, our people around us. We want them to feel a certain, we want everybody to know we're all on the same plane. And if you're not on the same page, you know, take it elsewhere, you know, but, and in your life, in your personal life, when you come home, the people around you, you want to have consistent winners around you with a winning mentality. That part of your book, man, was really hit home and, you know, reaffirmed some things for me that, you know, you're doing it the right way. You also talk about God, that hunger is a God force. You know, that's really what it is. It's the God force. It's the thing that pushes you, that from but beyond who you are.
Yes, absolutely. When you think about Nelson Mandela, man who gave up 26 years of his life in prison and go from prisoner because of his hunger to break the back of apartheid to president of the country, you know, that hunger, that God force, those who hunger and thirst after righteousness shall be filled. People that are hungry are unstoppable. People that are hungry are relentless. People that are hungry are focused. They're disciplined. They have mental resiliency. They'll come back again and again and again. It's not in their DNA to quit. And so that hunger drives them. It's their reason for being. Nietzsche said, if you know the why for living, you can endure almost anyhow. If you know why you're here, the two most important days in your life, the day that you were born and the day that you realize why you were born. So he knew, Nelson Mandela, Dr. Martin Luther King, Malcolm, they knew why they were here and they were willing to put it all on the line.
Yes. Obviously, Nelson Mandela, huge figure in my life. And that is why, you know, when you, another person that's a big figure in mine, you know, it's funny, over the time as I was, you know, I would tell you this, Mr. Brown, you know, it really is an honor having you on here, because on my playlist, when I'm working out, you're on my playlist, man. You know what I'm saying? I'm getting my 18 in. You're in my car. My friends will tell you I'm driving around. I got Les Brown playing all the time, you know? So another person I always have is Miles Monroe. And Miles Monroe, when I hear him, I hear you, it's like this rhythm. I say, man, and I didn't even know at one time, hey, wait a minute, they're friends. Of course they're friends. He talks about you all the time. Tell me how Miles Monroe or, you know, Zig Ziglar, Wayne Dyer, how these are inspirations in your life. Like, how do they push you to become greater?
I've spoke on stage with Zig Ziglar and Wayne Dyer. That was a goal, a dream of mine. Same with mine. I wrote the foreword for his first book, Personal Potential. We flew down to Belize together on a private plane. He was a man that was a perpetual student, and a man of integrity and courage and boldness. And I remember when I I was across the street from him in South Africa. I talk about now urgency, that live your life as if you're going to die, because one day you will.
Mm.
And I walked across the street and the sign said Dr. Miles Monroe, and he was doing a seminar for couples. So when I came in, I said, "Hi, my name is Les Brown." And this receptionist said, "Oh, we know who you are." I said, "Would you let Dr. Miles know that I'm here, please? I'd love to see him. I'm right across the street speaking." So she said, "I can't interrupt him. He's doing a seminar for couples." She said, I just can't do that now. I said, "Ma'am, if you let him know that I'm here, he's going to come out here and or call me in there." So she said, "I'll do something better. I'll set up breakfast tomorrow morning." And I reluctantly agreed. And the next morning she came in, she was just wiping her bra. She said, I'm sorry to tell you this." I said, "What is it?" "He left earlier than I thought."
Mm.
And I said, "Wow." And 2 weeks later, he was killed in a plane crash. And so under now urgency, I talk about, if there's something that you want to do it now. All of us remember when Michael Jackson, after years of not doing a concert, said, "This is it. This is the last one I'm going to do," and responding to the demands of his millions of fans around the world.
Yeah.
It's spending millions of dollars to reserve concert halls and hiring people.
Yeah.
It never happened. And so that area of hunger, I said, now urgency. Whatever you want to do, you want to do as much as you can, because we all have an expiration date.
Yeah. 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 Now urgency, unshakable faith.
Yes, because things going to happen to shake that faith. I remember Dr. Alfred Golson. He was an oncologist from Howard University. And he had a really weird sense of humor. He's very mischievous. He said, "Mr. Brown, you have prostate cancer. Your PSA is 2,700. I said, "What does that mean? 1 to 4 is normal." He said, 2,400, you don't even need to go home. So I
Right.
said,
Right.
"Can you give me a second opinion?" He said, "Yes. And you're ugly too." And I said, "Oh my God." I said, "Dr. Golson, you didn't tell me I'm ugly at such a special time like this." He said, "Yes." He said, "You real ugly, you ugly." And then he stopped and said, "But you got this. We determine the diagnosis. God determines the prognosis. You and God got this."
Yes.
And that, when he spoke with such a conviction, I use humor in my presentation, because when people laugh, their mind closed down and the heart opens up. And
Yes.
I left there with a heart full of faith rather than a heart full of fear. He broke the fear down in an acronym. He said, most people facing fear, they forget everything and run. But then there's a few who face everything and rise. And this is where we are. This is no time to run with our tails between our legs. This is a time for us to rise. With all of the opposition that we have coming in our direction, with the hatred, with the divisiveness, all the things that are going on right now, the only reason that we're still here and accomplished what we've accomplished is because people who were driven by faith and not by fear.
Yes, 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 yes. And you also talk, and you hit those marks. You said the faith. You say now urgency, growing continuously.
Yes. February 17th, I turned 75. And
looking fly, man. You're looking fly.
Thank you so much.
Hey, Ernie Hudson. We work with Ernie Hudson, and he's 74 too, man. Y'all got something here, bro. Y'all got something.
Well, black don't crack. You know what I mean? But I'm still learning. I'm still growing. I have made a commitment. I encourage everybody to do it. Make a commitment to learn something today that you did not know yesterday.
Yes.
This is the era of what the late Peter Drucker calls the 3 C's: accelerated change, overwhelming complexity, and tremendous competition. And we must begin to develop a thirst and hunger for this. Let me share with you. When my daughter told me that we were going to be doing an interview, and I got teared up, and she said, "I knew you were going to cry." I said, "Yes," because probably in the last 10 years, I've been interviewed on a Black radio show with a Black host maybe 4 times. In 10 years,
Wow.
99% of my clients are light expression people, Caucasian. The #1 purchasers of my motivational materials, the country of Sweden.
Mm.
And so to be able to talk to you now, because we have been conditioned into having an entertainment-driven culture. So the things that I talk about, unfortunately, there has not been an appetite for it. In the book, The Miseducation of the Negro, which was just a tremendous inspiration to me, Dr. Carter G. Woodson said, if you can determine what a man will think, you never have to concern yourself with what he will do. He said, if you can make a man feel justly an outcast, you never have to order him to go to the back door. He'll go without being told. And if there's no door, his very nature will demand one. And so what we have to do is and what I'm doing now with my life, we learn, we earn, and we pass it on. And so I know God said, you know what, he ain't gonna stop. So we're gonna have to interrupt this so he can stop. So what I'm doing, I'm not gonna travel anymore, and I'm gonna work with a select number of people. So I'm teaching people who have a hunger to make a difference and want to live a life that will outlive them. How to use stories to create an experience to distract, dispute, and inspire. How people live their lives as a result of the story they believe about themselves. And so what I teach them how to use their story to create an experience to distract them from their story. When I came into the industry, it was based upon giving information from the book Think and Grow Rich. My mentor, Mike Williams, he wrote the book called The Road to Your Best Stuff. He said, Browning, if information could change people, everybody would be skinny, rich, and happy. He said, you want to use your story to create an experience. Oliver Wendell Holmes said that once a man or woman's mind has been expanded with an idea, concept, or experience, it can never be satisfied to going back to where it was. And so now, my goal is to be, I'm a grandfather, I'm a great-grandfather, and train a few people how I was able to earn millions of dollars doing what I love to do, changing with my story.
Yeah, man. Yeah, it's that it goes to, you know, first of all, it's an honor, like I said, to have you here. And I would, that's amazing that it's only been, you know, 4 or 5 people that you've ever, you know, people of color that you've interviewed with, you know, that's, but I do get it. I mean, you know, your voice is so broad. It's, you're all around the world. And, you know, it's on us to invest in making sure we get not just on the entertainment side of the visual side of what we do, you know, but also invest in for self to build. And, you know, and you're on that side of the fence where you're building the inner work. You're doing the inner work, you know, and that inner work, you talk a lot about that as well. The inner work, it starts in and out, you know, from inside out. And I'm a big believer in that. And I even invoke that to, you know, people always ask, how do you get into business? How do you get into the industry? And I always tell them, you can do it. There's no one way to do this. But I can tell you one thing you have to do is know it within. You have to, it all starts within. And I had a similar story. I came to LA, man, not knowing anybody when I moved. I just knew this is what I wanted to do. And we figured it out along the way, you know? And I love that story you have when you go to, you know, maybe tell that story to people who maybe haven't heard it, about the disc jockey job. Man, that's a great story. But that shows that whole thing, you keep knocking that constant until they say, go get the coffee, you know?
Yes, absolutely. You know, it was Og Mandino who wrote The Greatest Salesman in the World. He said, you must persist until you succeed. And so what I noticed about my mother, whenever she encountered some challenges, She just kept coming back again and again and again. People that are hungry will find a way to win. People that are hungry believe, always strive to get on top in life because it's the bottom that's overcrowded. People that are hungry, and you're an example, they don't adhere to being logical or realistic. They live from a place of knowing there was something in you. Ye shall know the truth, and the truth shall set you free. And you knew when you went out there, you knew some way, somehow, you're going to break through. And that knowing is what drives you. That knowing empowers you. That knowing gives you the strength to take no prisoners and eat the wounded.
Yes. Yes. And I had Mr. Les Brown on my back telling me this every day while I was out here, making sure I was listening to you, man. You were pushing me. So, and you know, I always tell people there's mentors. You have mentors, that you have direct mentors, but you can, when you read about people and there's people who are talking to you out there, they have this messaging going on. They can be the mentors too, you know? Yeah. One thing that you said, man, it was really deep, man. It was like, whoa. It says, not failure. It's by Dr. Benjamin Mays. Not failure, but low aim is a sin. That's powerful.
Yes, in the Aramaic language, the word sin means falling short of the mark. We were born to do great things. You were chosen 400 million sperm. You have greatness in you. Greater is he that's in you than he that's in the world. You're more than a conqueror. You are a masterpiece because you're a piece of the master. Yes. And so when you come up in a culture that demonize you, that dismiss you, that trivialize you and oppress you, it robs you of your true identity. The work that I've been doing for these past 51 years is designed to transform our mindset. That gives your life a sense of purpose. Once your life has a sense of purpose, that gives your life a sense of direction. And once your life has a sense of direction, you're going to accomplish some things. You're going to fulfill some things. You're going to make some impact. Yeah. And so it's very important that we have a ritual, a personal development program for ourselves. I encourage everybody that's watching to see Les Brown speaking in the Georgia Dome before 80,000 people. When they see that, it's called It's Not Over Until You Win. Yeah. And then there's another one called It's Possible. That's a PBS special. And another one called You Deserve. But Miles, if they go on YouTube, Miles Monroe and I did one. And they put in Les Brown and Miles Monroe and Eric Thomas and Les Brown. They hear a combination of our two voices. Yeah. That's transformative. Yes.
Whoa. That's it. Hey, it's in my system, man. I listen to it. It's powerful. It's really powerful. The way they went back and forth, and it was almost like y'all set that thing up. I mean, y'all were talking out the same spirit. It was just flowing. Yes. Talk about health, man. Health for you is big. Health. You said delayed treatment is the #1 reason. Right? Was it delayed treatment?
Yes. Because people put it off. You know, people said what you don't know can't hurt you. What you don't know can kill you. So we have to really have a strategy. I ask audiences when they write their goals down, then I ask them, what's your strategy for being here? And they get quiet. I said, is that on your paper? Because your health truly is your wealth. You have to have a game plan for being here. Being here is not just a given. And so the reason that we have the highest death rate in many of the disease categories is because we have not made health a priority. And it's part of our culture to be unhealthy, to eat things that's not good for us. You know, I remember the Honorable Elijah Muhammad. He said, eat to live, don't live to eat. Right. And he's absolutely right. I'm working on getting a 6-pack like you. I got a 1-pack now covering up 5 packs. But during the lockdown, homie gonna get a 6-pack. The 6-pack is coming. It's coming soon.
Yes, 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 yes. I say someone has said here, health first. That is
Yeah.
great. That is true. That is true. Now you also have a you know a prodigy program. I want to get to that really quick too. And I think some people have some questions too possibly here. But talk about your prodigy program quickly. I mean, we got so much time with these lives, man. It's like get crammed in. But I want everybody to hear these things. These just like yeah.
Yeah, the Prodigy program is a program for the masses. It's only $20 a month membership, and it's for the whole household. And what they get is a newsletter and audio material giving them things for mental resiliency and ideas and strategies on how to make it in the new economy. My training program is called Discover Your Power Voice. When I speak in the United States, I earn $70,000 an hour. When I speak in foreign countries, like I just got back from Dubai, I earn $225,000 an hour. And so what I'm doing now is with the Discover Your Power Voice, I work one-on-one with a few people who have the hunger, the willingness to live a life that will outlive them, and people who want not just to make an impact, but also to earn a living doing something that they love. This is what I love. I believe when you have a calling is something that you love so much that you do it for nothing, but you do it so well that people pay you to do it. And people who have a hunger and a willingness to invest in themselves and the time, and they're coachable, they can email me at lesbrown77@gmail.com. I'm so glad to be able to talk to you on this day, which is the 7th day of July. This is my
Absolutely.
favorite.
It's the number, man.
Yes, man. 7 is my lucky number. I'm one of 7 children. My phone number is 702.
Mm.
Josh marched around the walls of Jericho 7 times.
Absolutely.
Dipped himself in the River Jordan 7 times. Yeah. So they can email me lesbrown77@gmail.com if they want to have my high-end program called Discover Your Power Voice. I'll teach them how to change lives and earn some serious money.
Nice, nice. Here, let me type that in. Hold on real quick. Les Brown.
77@gmail.com.
Hey, all right. Hype Nails by Jay. I just pinned you. Les Brown 77@gmail.com.
Yes, sir.
So tell me, there's a question here that's an interesting question. I think might be something it's pretty different here. Says, how do you advise people who are in limbo because of immigration laws? So that's an interesting question because so many people are put in these limbo spaces. What would you advise someone who's they're trying to make a move, but they can't right now because of something that's really, like you said, like even in the scenario where you were years ago, where the laws were putting you against scenarios?
Yes. There's a book written by Dr. Stacy N.C. Grant called Actions Despite the Distractions. Let's say that 45 succeed in sending all the immigrants back.
Mm-hmm.
They should still be involved in developing their skills. They should still be involved in developing mental resolve. They should still be involved in building strategic relationships, because when they go back to their country, they're going to need all of those things. So there will always be interruptions and distractions. So you don't want to sit around being depressed and not doing anything. That the computer gives you access to e-commerce. You can build a global business here or when you get back home. And that's the important thing. This is a choice that people didn't have years ago. And so you want to spend this time productively working on yourself, on your mind, developing and expanding your skill set, because you either expand or you're expendable, and you want to build collaborative, achievement-driven, supportive relationships. I have a global team. I have people around the world that I'm working with who have skills that I don't have. And so therefore, they are my strategic business partners. when 2007, when Time Magazine said the computer was the person of the year, I said, why did they say that? Because for the first time in the history of the world, everyday people had access to e-commerce and to information. So now you can have a business and run it from your telephone.
Yes. Well, there you go. Hope that answered you. You know, that's some great advice right there. And you know, you even mentioned, you said, hey, you made 100 calls to make sure that let people know, you know, you wanted to do corporate training. And you
Yeah.
just kept calling until you got the answer, no matter what the time frame was. And then you made a mention that if today you did it, you would be doing it, you know, a different kind of way, using, I guess, the way of technology.
You can do email,
Yeah.
you can do Instagram, you can do all of the various platforms, Facebook, all the platforms out there. So we have a tool that literally, we're in this place where James Weldon Johnson said, stony the road we trod, bitter chastening rod, felt in the days when hope unborn had died. Yet with a steady beat have not our weary feet come to the place for which our fathers sighed. Just think about that. That it was a capital offense for us to learn how to read. Now we have an instrument that not only can we get information from here, but you can educate yourself on a variety of careers and areas and control your own personal economy. I've generated, since doing this, over $65 million since I set out to do this. My goal was to do something. I was a state legislator in Columbus, Ohio. And my sister called me and said, Leslie, are you sitting down? I said, what's wrong with Mama? Mama has breast cancer. And I told Mama, I said, if anything happened to you, I will be here for you. She worked in a nursing home at one point, and she never wanted to go to a nursing home. I just gotten elected to my third term. I left the next day. I left my furniture, my home, my car, everything. When I rung the doorbell, a friend of hers was there named Mildred. And Mildred said, Mamie, Leslie's here. And I heard my mother say, I knew he would come. I knew my boy would come. I used to have a talk show, and I would end it by saying, this has been Mrs. Mamie Brown's baby boy. When I was coming up as a kid, they called me Mamie's boy. Yeah. And so I went back to take care of Mama and until she passed at 89. So you have to have something that drives you, that becomes your magnificent obsession, that you decide, this is something that I want. This is something that gives my life a sense of meaning and purpose and value. Yeah. And I'm going to make it happen no matter what.
Yes, absolutely. Absolutely. Yes. Let me see. I know there's a lot more questions here, guys. We only have so much time. Let's talk about, somebody had a great question here. Self-care and self-love. What about this here? What is the difference of self-care and self-love? This will be our last question from someone like that, from their question section.
Yes, that's a good question. Well, it's about taking care of you. It's how you feel about yourself determines if you will take care of yourself in the right way. I have a niece and she weighs over 500 pounds. And so I said, there will be a time that as you look at yourself, that you have to ask yourself the question, what will it take for me to love myself enough to do the things that I need to do to take care of myself? And I said, I understand what you're dealing with. I said, there are many people that's obese because of what they eat. But when you're over 500 pounds, you are obese because of what's eating you. I teach, ask for help, not because you're weak, but because you want to remain strong, and ask for help and don't stop until you get it. And my brother has been frustrated. And I said, Wesley, listen to me. Until the pain of staying the same is greater than the pain of change, she will never change. It's not hurting bad enough. But if she has a stroke or a heart attack or something, Trust me, she'll start looking like Twiggy.
Mm. Oh man.
I eat so much rabbit food since I've been diagnosed with prostate cancer. I feel like a silly rabbit.
Oh man. That hey, that you dropping good nuggets, man. You know, I like I said, give me to end this out. One last thing that you could leave with people right now. Just one thing, if you could say, hey, I'm gonna tell you this. We're in a different time right now. This one thing, you gotta be hungry, guys. Not only do you need to read this book right now, because this will give you a lot of insight on some things right now, but just from you right now, is there something that you could do to just put some hope into people's lives right now to just
Absolutely.
say,
Yes. Yeah. One, I want them to go to IamHungryLesBrown.com and order the book. Yes. IamHungryLesBrown.com and to order the book. What I would say to them, what my mentor said to me, Mike Kelly was one, and another named Mike Williams, and it stayed in my head. In order to be successful, you must be willing to do the things today others won't do in order to have the things tomorrow others won't have. What is it that most people won't do? Most people don't invest in themselves. Warren Buffett was asked, what's the most important investment you should make? And he has billions of dollars in real estate, billions of dollars in the stock market. And he said, the most important investment you can make is in yourself. Invest in your mind. You don't get in life what you want, you get in life what you are. As a man thinketh, so is he. As he continues to think, so he remains. Mm. And the next thing I would say to them, upgrade your relationships. Mm. You earn within $2,000 to $3,000 of your closest friends. When I heard that, I got all the broke people out of my life. I said, y'all gotta go. You gotta go way there, but you gotta get out from up in here.
That's real, man. That's real. Yeah. Yes. So, hey, well, thank you so much. Hey, guys, just make sure you check out his Prodigy program. Also, IamHungryLesBrown.com. Make sure you buy the new book. You've got to be hungry. Amazing, amazing testimony from Les Brown. He's breaking it down in this book. You know, this book. It's a great read. It's a really easy read. It flows really simply and some great like nuggets and things. And you know, he gives you some ideas of what to do. Gives you some different tips for you to follow and sit down and write out how you're gonna make your life a little bit better and find that hunger within you and have that knowing, that operate with a sense of knowing. Mr. Brown, again, thank you so much for your time and anything we as Tridestin can do for you and your team to be a benefit to you as well. We are wide open, and I look forward to many more conversations, sir.
I do too, and you could do what I do. And so I'm training young brothers like you. So I'll give that to you as a gift because you've been giving so much, transforming people's lives more than you can ever begin to imagine. And I honor you, I respect you, and I thank you so much for this opportunity.
Wow, thank you, sir. Thank you. That's an honor. Thank you so much.
Thank you. God bless you.
God bless you.
Yes, sir.
And everyone, have a great day, have a great week, and make sure you keep that hunger up. Go check out the book. IamHungryLesBrown.com. Have a good day.